Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Monday to you and your family. We're going to take another look here at Bitcoin, of course, help understand best practice and big picture, and see what's in store here for us. We had a rather green weekend, which is a nice, refreshing thing. But once again, a little premature, I guess you could say, to consider. But that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few things. Here, of course, more so validation, invalidation, and big picture, kind of roughly where we're heading now, and just overall what the general sense of things is right now. Okay, and if you are new to the channel, please understand I'd love teaching people how to trade, but this is not financial advice. And if you'd like better, a more accurate information, I guess you could say, CryptoCache.tech is the site. Link in the description below. I have a website where I basically teach you how to become a better trader, as well as the fact that I have a community and a signal group too. I share and trade, share all of my trades rather with my community. So a really awesome experience. Truly do love and appreciate all of your support too as well. So thank you so much for that. Take a look here at Bitcoin though. What we want to understand is a couple of key indicators. First of all, we want to kind of just quickly address here that we do have invalidation of the bearish, hidden bearish divergence. So we can kind of close this door here, so to speak, and help us understand that while the price could very well still continue lower, that hidden bearish divergence is dissipating, and it's something that we can't really be super concerned with anymore, but we still need to address other things. So if that makes any sense, pretty much just saying that we have some invalidation there, and that's probably less likely to occur, at least that continuation to the downside in the immediate future, which does imply with that kind of breaking above, we could very well see the price try to test 32,000, perhaps even higher in the relative near future. Again, I think today's candlestick would tell us a lot. So what we want to do is we want to look at the one-day candlestick when it closes and help understand what that looks like. In other words, a candlestick closed above some key level resistances would be important. And we'll take a look at that as well. But let's go ahead and just address the obvious, kind of refresh your memory. When we look at the monthly, we are below the 20 and above the 50. That's essentially just a place in which we spent time before. It was about a 6-month time frame. So hypothetically, this will continue over here, and this will continue up. The price will inevitably test the 50-day set moving average and work its way up. That's essentially what we're looking for and what would likely happen. Okay, so again, not a bad thing that we're under the 20, but it's not great either because it does confirm that we do have still potential further for downside. Is it going to happen? We don't know yet. 30,000 seems to be a point of contention, and there's a lot of volume building at that point. In fact, why don't we take a look at the volume? If we zoom in just a little bit here, we can see, of course, 38,000. But we're starting to build more on that shelf here at this lower price point that we haven't spent hardly any time on. All right, so it's good we continue to build this foundation. Heaven forbid we do continue to come lower, which is still a possibility. We shouldn't go anywhere lower than the 50-day simple moving average, which is trending at about 21,000, and we shouldn't go any lower than the 200-day simple moving average, which is trending right here at about 22,000. Okay, so to me personally, the absolute bottom should be 20 to 22,000 as a worst case scenario, and then we'd see a pretty swift recovery from there. But at this point, too early to tell. We need more time to kind of see what happens. All right, so that's kind of the general sense there of everything. So taking a look here at the Bitcoin daily, what we want to understand, of course, is where we're at on the moving averages. So we're also below all moving averages here. And typically you want to be above at least one to have kind of a leg to stand on. All right, so we're not quite out of the woods just yet. Again, a candlestick close above the 20-day set moving average would be huge. I don't think we're going to see that today, unless, of course, the traditional market jumps up really strong and fast. Out of curiosity, the traditional market is up somewhere in a range of about 0.5 to a full percent. So again, it's not extraordinarily doing very well, but it's also didn't gap down over the weekend, which is important. That really helps us understand here that Bitcoin might actually be able to continue to the upside here today, pending that doesn't do anything crazy. All right, again, there's a lot of different factors involved, but generally speaking here, being under the 20-day set moving average till we get back up above that, I don't think we should be, super excited about Bitcoin having a couple of green days. We need a little bit more gas in the tank to be able to continue higher. Taking a look at the RSI, though, we can see it's trending back closer to 50. It's right in the 30 to 40 range. And basically at this point, with it being underneath 50 until we get back up above, that's another key level resistance, we're still considered in an overall bearish type of divergence. Even though we're pretty much range bound right now, it seems, between 28,600 and about 31,300, we still have a strong resistance levels that we need to break back up above. And at this point, still premature to estimate that we'll just break right straight through that on first attempt. We need more volume, and we need some kind of catalyst here that causes the price action to move up. This sideways action here basically just tells us that we have strong potential for an increase or a decrease, and there's no true direction. And honestly, if you were to look at it here just in general, traditionally speaking, you're going to see a break to the downside based on the fact that it's kind of just continuing a similar pattern. So we've seen this before. It just comes over, comes down, over, and I think possibility of down is absolutely still there. Okay, so again, no guarantees that will happen. There's truly not a lot of indications right now telling us that it's going to go either direction. But based on the fact that we've had a profitable last couple of trading days, would not be surprised that if profits are taken near the end of today's trading day. That very well could be the case. So just be mindful of that and try not to get too overzealous when it comes to taking long positions, so to speak. I can tell you that based on what we see here so far, even though we haven't broken through this tentative resistance here, I do feel like it does want to continue to trend higher. It definitely looks like it has more strength than usual. Let's take a look at the volume too. I don't love the fact that we have almost the same volume today as we had over the weekend. That's typically not a great sign. We need increased volume to be able to really kind of push things up a little bit further. But this is kind of par for the course, pretty standard. If we look at the 4-hour candlestick closes, just say tentatively, if we look back, this is about 1 week's worth of trading. In the entire full 1 week of trading, the price has not broken 30,500. Okay. And again, I'm more so referring to the candlestick closes for the hourly, or in this case, the 4-hourly. And that's essentially telling us that, hey, the price is getting stuck at this point, keeps getting rejected. So we need it to break above and to consolidate above before we can have any type of confirmation, so to speak, that we've broken this little trend here. But good news is, it is ascending, so we can kind of see the price action moving up. It is making higher lows at this point on the 4-hour, which is very good. But we have yet to make higher highs. But once again, I would much rather have higher lows than higher highs because it kind of leads to this inevitability of a breakout. Okay, so there's a good chance if we get rejected here soon that it will inevitably break to the upside here based on the recent data that we have. Again, this is much better than what was going on back here. All right, so the last week of trading is, if it's shown us anything, it's that it wants to continue to increase and it's making higher lows, and that to me is a very big deal. So that being said, we're also above 50 in the RSI, which is very, very good sign, and we're not close to 90 either. Or sorry, correction, 70, which is a very, very good sign too. Kind of gives us some room for growth as well. So I do think potential for upside seems more likely just based on the overall sense of this ascending type of pattern. RSI over 50. We do have a MACD convergence, of course, that was yesterday or the day before it took place, and it's been converging ever since. Now again, convergence over the weekends are not typically the best indicators, but the fact that it's continuing here is a good sign. One thing I'm a little concerned with though is we do have, we're kind of hitting this point where we're higher on TD sequential. In other words, it's counting upwards of an 8. In other words, we've had 8 4-hour candlesticks of continuation to the upside. All right, so that's quite a lot. 32 hours in a row is really just telling us that we may not have a lot left to be able to continue to break through this resistance level. So what it may actually do is consolidate a little bit and inevitably break through, perhaps even tomorrow. All right, so that could be what happens. Now again, not to say that we're at an 8 and it's just going to stop and turn around. You see 9s and extreme overtime consistently. But when it comes to Bitcoin, it's one of those things where, when we get closer here in general, I would say just based on the overall sense here, we're nearing the end of this potential increase. So it makes sense for the price to kind of come down and to calibrate with a higher low and continue higher. So if the next low, if just say the price were to come back down, the next low is above this Fibonacci retracement level, about 29,700, or perhaps even this ascending type of channel, then I think that we're going to be in pretty good shape to see the price break to the upside. It may even do that now. It's not to say it's completely overextended, but it's getting close. Okay. So again, just something to kind of be mindful of. It's never like a 100% guarantee, but when you are, 1.5, almost 2 trading days into a momentous trend, profits are going to get taken, right? That's just kind of the true nature of it. One thing I do like here, though, if you see this candlestick, take a look at that guy. That's actually a very, very good sign. Granted, this candlestick hasn't closed yet. We've got about 7 minutes left. However, with a large wick down here, it kind of implies that the bears are losing that control here, and they couldn't control the price action coming down, and now they're getting kind of pushed out. So once again, likelihood of the price continuing higher either today or tomorrow is greater, just based on the simple fact that we have some pretty cool little indications here kind of letting us know. Let's take a look at the cloud. I would imagine we're above, which we are. Lagging span is free and clear of price action, but it's kind of getting close. So it is kind of telling us that, hey, if you got a long position, you may want to consider taking your profits because the price may turn back around. And that's the great thing about the lagging span. It kind of gives you that indication that, hey, we're getting close to that over-exhaustive state. On the 4-hour, we can see that we are 32 hours into this momentous trend, right? So if we're 32 hours in and the lagging span's coming close to the price action, is it really going to continue much higher from here? Well, the probability is lower. It could still do that, right? But I think the more likelihood here is for the price to come down, test the cloud, one of the 2 leads, and to come back up. That would seem more practical, just based on the slight overextension that we're seeing. But again, the cloud is basically telling us that we're on the right side of the tracks. The conversion line's above the baseline, and the lagging span is free and clear of price action. Those are traditionally 3 good indications to keep your position open. Just be mindful that this lagging span is getting close to price action, and when it does, unless we have some kind of strong push up or continuation soon, then that door will effectively close, and we'll be in a position where we probably need to see the price action come back down. All right, so again, just something to kind of consider here. Big picture, it's kind of where we're at, and ultimately, it's not in bad shape, really. I do think that the potential for upside is greater based on this ascending type of pattern and just the overall sense of where things are at right now. So generally speaking, we should experience an increase in the relative near future. Pay attention to that. Just be mindful that we might see a correction first. I personally prefer to wait for confirmation, so if we can get the price to come back down and to create some nice higher lows, continuing higher lows, we'd be in really good shape to see that push to the upside. So that's my hope there. Once again, a 1-day candlestick close here above this level, this right here at about 30,500, 30,600, would be extremely important. So if we can close above that level today, we'll be in pretty good shape. If we can't, it doesn't necessarily mean we're in dire straits. It just means that we might be establishing a new higher low, and that could also lead to a positive result here. Okay. What we don't want is for the next low to be lower than the most recent. So the next low cannot be lower than 29,000. But at this point, it doesn't look like it wants to come back down. All right. So mostly good stuff here for Bitcoin, and just once again, big picture realisticness here. You need to understand we're still in a bearish environment. Bearish, divergences are occurring, and there's a strong chance we will see more downside, and eventually, if the price were to even resolve itself here soon. Okay, again, until we get back up above this trend line here, there's no reason to truly get super excited. Okay, so I hope that helps you, and at this point, thanks so much for watching, and thanks again to all my current community members for requesting that I cover Bitcoin daily and just all the other altcoins, of course, that I try to cover for you as well. I deeply appreciate your support and look forward to working with you if you're not currently a community member. Again, CryptoCache.tech is a site, link in the description below. I offer military discounts and third world country discounts as well. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.